Is a advanced skill, right? When I say that is subconsciously your body's going to want to fight. It's not natural yet, okay? And there's so many steps to driving a gun. So the steps is, it's not just about cracking around and pulling the gun offline, it's leveling the gun. It's about understanding where that front sight is at for an index, okay? Being able to pick up your peripheral and driving that gun to that peripheral vision as you are prepping the gun. So prepping the trigger, taking out the release to the wall. So by the time that the sights are level on the second target, you're at the wall ready to take that shot. Sight alignment, sight picture is already there. The faster you move, the more time you have to shoot, right? So we move fast and we shoot slow. In time, our shoot slow becomes really fast. So then we just become fucking fast at everything. Okay, but you have to break it down, right? So you have to break it down in mechanics. If I'm telling you, hey, to shoot fast, and your fundamentals that you were trained on for so many years was to re-index to make sure that shot down, right? Now you're breaking away the fundamentals because I'm telling you, you have multiple threats. Why re-index? If that round's already cracked, you need to move on to the next target. This is the first target, drive the gun. This is the first target, drive the gun back. This is the first target, drive the gun back. If I miss the target, I'm still driving the gun. So as soon as that round cracks, you're moving on to the next target. Remember what I told you this morning? I know my shots based on the crack of my round on my front sight, right? So if you're not reading that front sight, you don't know where those rounds are going. Remember the double tap days? You know what a double tap is? What's a double tap?
Fire the second round accident.
So one sight picture, well, two side pictures. So two side pictures on a pull. When I say two side picture is first side picture, bang, bang, and then follow through, okay? So what is control pair? What is a control pair?
Two shots on a double precise time.
Yeah, you're picking up that front sight every single time, right? Along with follow through, okay? So the days of double tap, guys, are kind of over, okay? Because during the war, we learned a lot of things. I had to do hostage rescue. I had to do direct action operations, and along with that comes non-combatants. So your rounds have to count, right? Your grip has to be there. Understand? Fundamentals doesn't get replaced because I'm adding more shit to your plate. All right. The next drill we're going to do is driving the gun. You're going to hit the first target. You're going to drive the gun as fast as you can to the second target. You're going to pick up your sight alignment, sight picture. You're going to squeeze around the second target. Understand this? All through, recovery, all this bullshit, right? Because it's marksmanship. So if I burn you down, boom, 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 you're training the range to collapse, to look, or to burn, to follow the guy down, collapse, look, and follow through recovery. Well, we don't have that time. We don't have that time when I'm entering a room and there's 5 combatants wanting to kill me. I have to fucking put rounds fast on each one of them, and then I have to follow through by putting fatal shots, right, on the follow through. So let's just say 5 combatants, I'm gonna put 5 rounds through, and then I'm watching them die, and anybody who's not dying fast enough, I'll pop rounds in his face or his hip lines. Understand? So why did I pop the hip line? Why would I shoot his hips out? Structure, right? I want the guy to fall. During war, prior to war, we would go into a shoot house and we'll shoot 2 rounds in a target. Did we do that, police officers? right? We run through a house, we shoot 2 rounds. Why do you think they do that?
Make sure they die.
2 rounds? Why do we put 2 rounds per target? You don't know, right?
Vitals.
So that's what I mean. You don't know. Because through years, this instructor handed down to this instructor. And this instructor handed down to this instructor. And nobody know what the fuck. Why are we shooting 2 rounds in? Because when I went into Iraq and I put 2 rounds in a human being, he didn't go down. Right? He didn't go down. At this close proximity, man, with the muzzle velocity, right, it's going to burn right through a human being, right? Especially if you have a higher caliber round, depending on the grain of your round, right, your bullet. So the thing is, the reason why we shoot 2 rounds on target in CQB and the schooling, because in the Army, we're trying to save money. In the law enforcement world, you're trying to save money. So they were looking at the proper way to fire and then manage that recoil to index right back on the target, fire again and move on. It's just training. But in time, people thought that was a tactic, right? I did. I was trained that way in hostage rescue schools. I was trained that way, right? So when I had to employ to meet my enemies on the battlefield, I put 2 rounds in him, he's still standing there. So that's when I realized I need to put more than 2 rounds, and I need to put rounds where it counts. So if you look at a target, right, if you look at a man-sized silhouette, why are we always shooting out the center? Why are we always shooting out the high on the chest? It's not because it's just a target. You're programming your mind to do this. Well, why do we do that?
Vital organs.
Okay. Anything else? Huh? High percentage, right? Good. High percentage target. If I close in ground with you, what do we lose? You lose time, right? So you have to pick the high percentage targets. Right? 5 rounds in his hip and he'll drop. He'll just flop around like a fish. He'll drop. Because up until then, I was putting 5 rounds center line on the chest, right? So basically what I was trying to do is I was trying to blow out his spinal cord. You blow out a person's spinal cord, you sever the communication lines between the brain and the body, and he'll drop like a fucking fish. Boom. He'll still flop around. But that's how you neutralize the threat. You want to blow out the spinal cord. You blow out the spinal cord, you would take down a human being. For my police officers, if you can't blow out the spinal cord, you pop his hip line, and it'll take down the threat. Okay? If you can't get that low percentage shot. If you want to train for high percentage, you always want to engage in high percentage shots, but you want to pick your high percentage shot locations. This is high percentage shot. Those are high percentage shot, but you guys are blowing out in the fucking shoulders and the stomach and area. That's not what we're training for. We want to train for the kill shot, high on chest, center line on chest. Understand? So that's why we have to bounce from steel to paper. Steel to paper, because paper keeps you slow. And it keeps you true, but it keeps you slow. Steel keeps you fast, but you'll blow out, and all you're hearing is the audibles, right? So you have to slow down and concentrate what you're doing. The next drill is called driving the gun. Driving the gun back in the day was, I have multiple index. If it's a target and you're a target, driving the gun is, I see you as a target, I engage, I look at and I shoot. Is that what you guys are taught? Yes or no? That's old school. All right, so the old school days of coming here and firing, boom, and then turning and going here. All right, so remember that drill that I taught you earlier with on one side and I'm on the other side, and you can see him there in his peripheral? How many times, my police officer, have you put a gun on somebody that you don't know if he's a combatant or non-combatant? Is that something you would do? If you perceive this guy as a threat, and he has no gun on him, but you perceive he's a threat, would you put a muzzle on him to control him? You're not shooting him. Would you put a muzzle on him? Okay. If you say yes, then this concept is it. Okay? So if I see you as a threat, and I see him moving. Okay? So if I see him, I'm going to drive my gun. See, I'm already online with him. So remember that drill. If I can point towards you, I can point towards him. If I can drive my gun towards the point, I'm already on him. You understand? So I'm making minor adjustment once I get to that location. Okay? Now, driving the gun sometimes, if I perceive, and it's really up to you, man, if you perceive a hostage rescue situation, if I perceive that this is a possible threat, I'll drive my gun, finger off the trigger. If I see you as a threat, if I burn down a guy, boom, 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 and then you're in that same room, finger on the trigger, drive the gun, take it to the wall. And this is where you have to build that muscle memory. You have to build that discipline. If you overshoot the wall, obviously you're gonna shoot whoever you're putting your gun on. Understand this. So it comes down to muscle discipline, it comes down to memory. Now, if you disagree with this method and say hey, it's unsafe, that's because you're not training. You're not really pushing yourself, okay? Because if I'm telling you I can do it, and I have done overseas, then you can definitely employ this technique. Driving the gun is moving to your peripheral vision. This is how I drive the gun. All right, so we can lock our lower body to our upper body, right? Or we can have our lower body independent to our upper body. We understand this. So this means, imagine, did we play baseball in here? Anybody? Okay, thank you. So imagine a sport where you have your bat, right? You're swinging your body like this. So you're locking your lower body to your upper body, right? And you're swinging with the full force of what? Your hips, right? So imagine boxing. If I'm here, I'm swinging like this. I'm not doing this, right? I'm swinging with my whole body, my structure, very much like a gun, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to put your fingers on me, your drive hand. Okay, now I want you to lock your lower body. No, that means like plant your lower body in a good stance. All right, and I want you to move just your upper body, not your lower body. See how you're moving your lower body with it? Now I want you to see how you're moving your lower body with it? So this is moving my lower body. See it? My knees, look at my knees. This is moving my upper body, look at my knees. We understand the difference. Okay, now I want you to put your knees forward and I want you to look at me. I want you to point towards me. I want you to point towards me, point towards me. I want you to drive just with your upper body. So it looks like this. See? See how I'm moving just my upper body? Go ahead. Drive to trim. Okay, now I want you to look at me. I want to lock your lower body to your upper body. I want you to drive as a unit with your pelvis line. Understand this. So basically you're pointing your pelvis line at Trump. Which way is faster? Huh? Driving with your whole body, right? The reason why that's faster is because you're pushing the energy from the ground, very much like a punch. You're pushing the energy from the ground. Understand this. Okay? Versus moving independent from the lower body and upper body. When would I move independent from the lower body and upper body? When would I ever do that? What? When you're moving. So if I need to move like a tank, right? Look where my knees are at. See? If I need to move like here, now I'm moving upper body independent of my lower body. But if I stand, I'm going to drive with my whole body. Does that make sense? On driving the gun, man, you have to pull that gun offline to program your mind on how fast you need to pull off. This is the first drill on driving the gun. You're not taking that second shot, you're pulling that gun offline so you understand the body mechanics of moving that gun. The body mechanics of moving the gun goes from the core of your body, not here. It goes from like I'm throwing a kick. Think about like a baseball. Think about any athletic movement, right? You're going to drive that power from where? The core, right? So watch how I drive the power from the core. All right, I'm going to bring it up. Fire, next target. Fire, next target. Fire, next target. I don't want to see this. See? Watch how I speed. Fire, next target. Fire, next. I'm already on him. Fire, next target. I'm already on him. Fire, next target. I'm already on him. All right, so the drill is this. I want to pull the gun offline. See, I'm using my body mechanics to pull offline. Do you see it? All right, so this is called a short drive, all right? So short drive is I get a good base, notice how I'm standing upright. Body over here, I'm pushing the gun, I'm driving the gun here. All right, so watch how I move my gun offline. I'm gonna talk it over, okay? I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. I'm bringing it up, I'm firing, I'm moving offline. I'm already on the wall, okay? So as I'm firing, I'm already on the wall, and then I'm gonna take my time and shoot the second target. Coming up, firing on the wall, take your time and shoot the second target. Fire on the wall. Here, I'm already on the wall, okay? So I want to drive that gun to my peripheral vision. You want to drive that gun to your peripheral vision. So to start off this drill, you want to go slow. So it looks like this. I'm picking up the front sight already. So now, that's your speed. That's your speed, understand? If you're missing the target, what do you need to do? What are the three things that matter?
Target distance, shooter's ability.
Okay, so you're missing the target, that's your shooter's ability, all right? Understand that on a low percentage, that's not even low percentage, but on a smaller target, you may have to take your time and shoot. Okay, if you're missing the target, slow it down. Work on the mechanics of the driving the gun. Faster. Look at me.
Go ahead.
Look. Ready? We'll do it together. Ready? Ready? Let's go. Get your gun out. Go. Go. That's it. Faster. Watch my hip line. Watch my legs. See? This is how he's shooting. The hips need to move together with the gun, like this. See? I'm here, right? I'm gonna tie my upper body to my lower body. I'm just driving this here. If I drop a knee, then it changes the pitch. See? It changes the pitch up, changes the pitch down. Okay? I want to utilize this. I want to drive just like this, locking both upper and lower body together, utilizing the same structure. No! Holster your gun. All right, guys, listen to me. It's all in the fucking mind right now. I need you to go up there. You guys are getting up there and going, ugh, right? No. Get up there, relax, look at the targets, bring it up to your eye line. Everything's no muscle tension whatsoever. No muscle tension on shoulders, neckline. I don't want to see it. Okay? I want you to stand there like you're standing normal, bring the gun up to your eye line. That's your shooting position. And then I want you to move your hips. Okay? If you're locking out like this, guys, how can I move my hips? Think about it. It's not proficient anymore. I want to open up my hip line and move like a athletic athlete. Shooter. You're moving your upper body, so that means you're planting your lower body, you're just swinging your shoulder, right? You're swinging your shoulder, you need to swing your hip line. You need to swing your hip line. So if you put your gun to presentation and you move with your hip line, you're moving with your shoulder right here like this. So you're like bam, 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 right? You want to move with your hip line because you want a point of reference on that draw.
Okay.
See? Move with your hip line.
Dragon.
A lot of you guys are kind of over muscling this thing. Watch how I barely move, right? Watch how I barely move. See it? This is you. Sights level on wall, so as soon as I'm here, I'm already ready to fire. See, I'm already ready to fire. So right here, I'm already ready to fire. So by the time I hit that, I'm already ready to fire, understand? Look at your position right now, look at your shoulders. You're already rolling, all right? I want you to relax.
What were you doing?
Look, relax and look at the target. Visualize the target and look at me. Look. All you're doing is bringing it up to your eye line. Relax. Watch how fast I pull offline. So as soon as I'm here, I'm already offline. See? I'm already offline. As soon as that round cracks, you're pulling that gun offline. All right, miss the first target, drive the gun. Miss the first target, drive the gun. Miss the first target, drive the gun back. Miss the first target, drive the gun back. If I miss the target, I'm still driving the gun. Understand? So that's why it doesn't make sense if you guys are doing this. Fuck that. If I miss the first target, I'm driving the gun. The structure, upper body and lower body together. Watch how I do it. Watch how effortless it is. Watch how I don't even utilize too much movement. Okay. Just watch how effortless it is. See? I'm already on that second target, right? You don't see unnecessary movements, right? So you guys are doing this shit, right? Because you're moving independent of each other. Your lower body, your hip line drives the pull. It's a advanced skill, right? When I say that is subconsciously your body's going to want to fight. It's not natural yet, okay? And there's so many steps to driving a gun. So the steps is, it's not just about cracking around and pulling the gun offline, it's leveling the gun. It's about understanding where that front sight is at for an index, okay? Being able to pick up your peripheral and driving that gun to that peripheral vision as you are prepping the gun. So prepping the trigger, taking out the release to the wall. So by the time that the sights are level on the second target, you're at the wall ready to take that shot. Sight alignment, sight picture is already there.